One of the most pleasant surprises to come out of 2020 was Extraction, a refreshingly no-nonsense, violent, action-packed movie about a big burly mercenary ploughing his way through dozens of disposable bad guys in a series of long-take action sequences while fighting to rescue a kid from an Indian drug lord. It was the kind of simple, unpretentious, one-man army scenario that formed the basis of pretty much every 1980s action flick ever made. And in a time of formulaic, overblown superhero movies and dreary remakes, it was a neat little throwback to a simpler, more fun and carefree age of filmmaking. In fact, it was the movie that actually spawned the idea of the extra shots reviews on my second channel, so nice one, Extraction. So needless to say, I was excited at the prospect of a sequel, especially now when all those problems and gripes I had about modern movies are like 10 times worse than they were back in 2020. But then again, maybe I was hoping for a bit too much. I mean, could lightning really strike twice? Or would Extraction become a victim of its own success as it tried to go bigger and better? Oh yeah! Extraction 2 is exactly what I was looking for in a sequel like this. A slicker and more refined product that improves on the spectacle and action of its predecessor while still maintaining the core elements that made it so effective in the first place. I mean, it's not exactly complex or thought-provoking, it doesn't delve into the mysteries of the human experience or provide deep insight into the world we live in today, and it absolutely doesn't give a shit about the message. And that is just fine by me, because I don't need or want it to do any of those things. What I do want to see is tough, cool, stoic heroes inflicting massive amounts of destruction and violence on the world around them, and that is exactly what we get. So let's dive right in, shall we? The movie once again focuses on Tyler Rake, an Australian Special Forces operative turned mercenary. The last time we saw him, he wasn't exactly looking his best after being shot, stabbed and blown up multiple times, and even thrown off a fucking bridge at the end of the movie. Nothing that a quick rescue by his partner Nick and a 30-second training montage can't put right though, and after a period of recuperation, Tyler's ready to get back in the fight. Which is just as well really, because before you can say convenient plot event, he's approached by Idris Elba to rescue his former sister-in-law and her 2 children from a prison in Georgia, where they're being held in custody with her abusive warlord husbands. Needless to say, Tyler's up for a good brawl and joins forces with Nick and her brother Yaz to break her out. Of course, nothing's ever simple in a film like this, and within about 2 minutes of making entry, Tyler and his crew are caught up in a full-scale war against the prison guards, the rioting inmates, local police and soldiers, choppers, and the Georgian mafia. And leading the hunt for them is Zurab, a ruthless Georgian crime boss out to avenge the death of his brother. And believe me, he'll stop at absolutely nothing to get what he wants. Just like its predecessor, or Nobody, or Sisu, Extraction 2 is what I can best describe as a hamburger movie. A simple, honest, unfussy kind of film that knows exactly what's expected of it, doesn't aspire to anything fancy or pretentious, and ultimately leaves you feeling pretty satisfied by the ends. The action sequences are fun, inventive, energetic, and beautifully violent. I mean, make no mistake, this is a mature action film intended for adults, not some bland, watered down, neutered piece of corporate trash trying to appeal to every demographic that's ever existed, and probably starring everyone's safe bet, The Rock. The first movie was already pretty impressive with its long take and technically demanding set pieces, but Extraction 2 takes it to the next level with some genuinely awesome bits of fight choreography that use CGI sparingly to complement the practical action, not in some weird attempt to supplant it. The standout has got to be the almost 20-minute prison break sequence that manages to maintain an almost constant tempo of action and destruction to the point where you feel almost as exhausted and burned out as the characters by the end. But there's also plenty of other smaller set pieces peppered throughout the film. And honestly, I can't begin to tell you how much more gripping and entertaining it is to watch a human man fight his way through the middle of a prison riot, knowing how much rehearsal and prep work must have gone into these scenes compared to some headache-inducing CGI shitfest that has all the artistic merit of a blurry photograph of the Mona Lisa. The characters are well defined, understated, and portrayed by capable actors who know what they're doing. Hemsworth is clearly enjoying the chance to play an actual serious role for a change, instead of a bumbling cartoon clown directed by a 47-year-old child. You know, it's kind of interesting how a lot of former MCU actors seem to be making the switch over to mature action movies. Some more successfully than others, if you know what I mean. Just like in the first movie, Tyler's a physical powerhouse who fights like a machine and absolutely refuses to quit no matter how much punishment he takes. He's a totally hard bastard that actually looks like he can handle himself in a fight, but there's also an emotional depth to his character that gradually reveals how he became the man he is today. It's not exactly deep or introspective, but it's enough to keep him grounded and human. He's well balanced out by Nick, his partner in crime, who's smart, capable and loyal, and clearly not afraid to get her hands dirty, but never really overshadows or belittles him. You never get the sense that the filmmakers are trying to push another generic, strong female character that can magically outperform the boys just to score some cheap applause on social media. She's tough and resilient, but again, the film's pretty realistic about what she can actually do against people that are bigger and stronger than her. Holy shit, a movie with a strong, capable, dangerous and unapologetically masculine male lead, backed up by a likeable and realistically powerful female partner who doesn't exist solely to mock and deconstruct him. A movie that doesn't feel the need to throw in quippy Joss Whedon dialogue every 30 seconds or undercut every dramatic scene with ironic, self-deprecating postmodernist humour. A movie that gleefully serves up bucket loads of guns, explosions, car chases and brutal fistfights without meekly apologising for glorifying violence. A movie that actually understands and respects its target audience and gives them exactly what they want. By George, if this kind of craziness were to spread through the rest of Hollywood, maybe they wouldn't be staring down the barrel of a summer of flops and disappointments. If I had to level any criticisms at Extraction 2, I'd say that the family drama stuff with Tyler's sister-in-law can start to drag at times because we don't get to know those characters well enough to really get invested in them. It doesn't exactly ruin the film, and there's definitely times when even I welcomed a reprieve from all the action scenes, but I think it is one of the weaker aspects of the movie. Honestly, it's a real shame this movie never got a theatrical release, because compared to the other bilge that's coming out this year, I think it would find itself with a pretty healthy audience. Either way, for me, movies like this are a sign that the times are very much changing in Hollywood. With the bloated, oversaturated and massively expensive superhero genre now in its messy and embarrassing death throes, the field is very much open for smaller, more grounded and mature action films like this to make a major comeback. And if Extraction 2 is a taste of what's to come, then sign me up because I'm fucking ready for it. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.